Well, it's definitely go home leg on a 3-day trip in Bermuda. Beautiful morning. Sorry to go. I gotta get home. I gotta do a workout. I can't help it. I'm so upset about it. Let's go ahead and check out a new piece of workout equipment that was sent to me. All right, I got to turn all of this into this. Oh, hey guys, thank you so much for coming to Aviator's Garage. This is the Mikolo F4 Power Rack with an integrated lat pull down. Man, you got to stick around. This thing is actually really good, but there are some things we need to talk about. So let's get into it. All right, this Mikolo F4 is outstanding. The rack itself costs $4.99, free shipping. But this setup, as you can see it right here, this has the Mikolo Olympic bar, and it also has a weight plate set that goes up to 230 pounds. That in itself brings us total gym package all the way up to just under $1,200. All right, so with that, number one, my personal favorite, I love the fact that it comes with dips. All right, you can put them and set them anywhere you want on these awesome uprights right here. It also comes with some spotter arms that are really interesting. They're really quick, down to the point. They are just a tube of steel. However, what I want you to realize is it actually comes with them at $500. You do get a really, really nice kind of red powder coating with also some number etching in there so you can adjust your workouts as quick as you possibly can. It does come with your accessories. Here's obviously the lat pull down bar, and it comes with a rope. Now, being brutally honest about this rope, this is made out of plastic right here. It's not exactly the best quality. However, I don't know what you're expecting when you're at a price point of around $500. All right, other things to mention here, it comes with a landmine attachment. And you know, for the price, going back to $499 again, it is amazing how they thought of this. I have other pieces of equipment that are a heck of a lot more expensive. I love how they actually came up with, I don't have to have this there if I don't want it. It's not tripping me up on my workout. Other pieces of equipment I have, that thing is pretty much permanently placed because of screws. So just this with a little clip, and now I can move it to 4 other locations. You have 2 holes on each side where you can take your landmine, and I can put them wherever I need to so I can adjust my workout. I haven't seen that kind of engineering for so cheap. That's awesome. Okay, so another cool thing. Not that this rack is extremely robust. It is made out of 14 gauge steel, but they did think about the engineering in order to counterbalance and offset everything, especially if you're using your lat pull down. You do have 4 pegs. 4 pegs for weight, all the way up to a total weight capacity of 800 pounds on this thing. Plus, their sleeve, this right here, this sleeve allows you to store Olympic bumper plates or regular weight plates. And also, if you take that off, you can use standard weight plates as well. Very well thought out. Now, the one thing about it is, because of it being 14 gauge steel, I surmise that these pegs are at the bottom and you can't move them anywhere else, just because you don't want this thing tipping over on you for obvious reasons. So another thing, going back to the same thing about how the landmine is set up, you have these band pegs. These band pegs are awesome too because they're not permanently attached. A lot of the times I've realized when I'm working out, I need some things out of the way and I don't want to trip over this stuff. And this system right here, super simple, super effective, very easy for me to get them out of the way if I'm not going to use them. And the other thing about these band pegs is you have 2 over there on that side and you've got 2 over here. And this all comes with the machine. Looking at the back of the machine, this is where you have your storage. Very simply put, you've just got some hooks. You got about a total of 4 of them. And you can see it does come with these 2 weight clips for if you are going to be utilizing any type of Olympic bar. And this is the way you're going to store everything. 100% full disclosure, they're not exactly the most expensive weight clips. They do the job. There are other ones out there. Mikolo actually sells them as well. But it's nice that they're there so you can have just a touch of safety, especially for the price point. It does come with a actually pretty high pull-up bar area here. I'm 5'10". I don't know what the heck my reach is, but you can see that it is a heck of a lot deeper than I thought it would be. However, when you look real close and you come up to the pull-up bar itself, one thing I do want to point out is for close grip, it is, I mean, I do have bigger palms, I've been told, but right here, it's not exactly the most comfortable. However, if you space it out a little bit, it's just right. They do have gnarling on the inside of this specific one, but you can see too that right here, I would have to add some type of adhesive for these handles, because that eventually one day will probably fall off. Is it a big deal? No, not really. However, but you can see it just is what you sacrifice for price. All right, so the most important part about the F4, which I think is absolutely fantastic, it's not 100%, however, for the price, is you've got a cable system here, and it's all set up so that you can do some lat pull downs. This is really, really hard to find at this price point for this kind of a home gym setup, especially on a power rack. So a really good job to Mikolo. The one thing, my personal thing I don't like is I'm more and more, as I'm getting more adverse to these types of systems, I do not personally like putting plates on and off the machine, because I know I have to have 2 of these things in order to have a really good HIIT type of workout or anything else that I'm trying to accomplish for the day, depending on what kind of workout I'm doing. However, this system here, simple 1-to-1 pulley, goes up through, really easy to set up. These sleeves right here also come off, so you can use standard weights like those 1980s weight plates that you see all the time. So if you have a bunch of those sitting around in your garage, you could use those. And then also it comes with, at the bottom here, another pulley system. So guess what? I have the option to be able to do rows. And also these 2 handles do come with the machine as well. There are tons of options. 2 foot plates here. You need to have a bench in order to do the lat pull downs, but you can source those for really, really good quality at a very efficient price all over Amazon and even Mikolo. This specific bar, really straight, simple to the point, great bearings. It's your standard Olympic bar. It's going to weigh 45 pounds. It's on the website. It's $169. It does not come with the machine setup as you see right now. However, if you bundle all this stuff together, they do throw in a discount. I believe it's anywhere from 10 to 15%. Don't quote me on that. I know they're doing the New Year's resolution sale right now. Totally up to you to pick that up. Well, one thing I do like is how you have the option for your Olympic bar setup to either move it out front here in case you want to do any type of cage style workout inside of there, or you can have it on the inside, and you can see how I have it configured right now, where I could be doing some type of squats and then move right to dips, or whatever your imagination can handle. One thing I want to point out too, for the price point, yes, they are not the best J hooks. However, I am thoroughly impressed. That is at least 12, maybe 10 gauge steel there. Yes, they are brazed, but this is more than robust enough for you to be able to get that workout or any type of strength building. And you can see how they're built here on the back. It's absolutely outstanding. Super impressed by that. Really good job. Your uprights here will handle most attachments, even aftermarket, if you are dealing with the 2 by 1 inch holes. So that's something you want to look at as well. I did forget to mention it does come with a landmine attachment, and it also comes with a straight bar. These are pretty standard for this price point. There are definitely other options out there if you want to upgrade. All right, let's talk about setup and installation. Now the good news is that this rack is actually pretty simplistic, so it shouldn't take too long to put together. And everything came beautifully packaged. Here's all the parts and pieces. I think the hardest part about any one of these racks is just unpacking them. But so far out of all the construction, I only see one part that could be questionable, and it's going to be that right there. I'm pretty sure that needs to be welded, and I'm not sure why that looks that way. But at the price point that this rack is, I'm expecting stuff like that. You can see these are probably going to be the dip bars, but there's a lot of cheap brazing or tack welding. So that's pretty consistent with the price point of a rack like this. Here's the instructions. Most of these come with these little diagrams or decoder to tell you what bolt goes where and what piece is labeled what. So you have to flop back and forth between that. I wish they came out with a different system, because then things would just be a lot quicker, or at least while you're in this phase here, I wish they just labeled exactly what it was, not the E2 or the bolt M10. So that way you would know and things would be a lot faster, because that's the bane of having one of these racks is you got to set it up yourself or pay somebody else, and I like to save money. Anytime you can have somebody help you, it's always a win-win. Usually I'm putting these things together solo, so you can see I get pretty creative. Another thing about this machine is some of the bolts are accessed from the bottom, so you may need help from someone else to be able to lift it and make sure that you can put them there so all the uprights can be assembled correctly. I'm a little skeptical of this thing now because it barely wants to move. So we'll see. I'm gonna put some super lube silicone grease on this and hopefully that'll work. Man, please do not be disappointing. No, you're not allowed to be disappointing. That is the one problem with the cheaper workout equipment. You do have to deal with that kind of stuff. So, I hope it works. Actually, you're gonna see I'm really surprised with the results. I didn't have the top on, and that's why it made it so tough. Super lube, and you guys saw before. Now check this out. Boom. There we go. There. So it probably needs to be broken in just a little bit more, but you definitely need this assembling these types of machines. I'll put a link in the description. Cool. Got some accessories in. These are gonna be nice. They're on the cheaper side, but they're definitely doable. I'm happy it comes with dips, because I love dips. Cool thing about it, even for 500 bucks, you do get tools to put this thing together. However, I highly recommend you use a ratchet set. It'll save you tons of time, and you can finish your project just like this. One beautiful thing about this $500 setup, they did think about the storage. As I mentioned, on the back side here, you have those 4 hangers. But when you have an Olympic bar, you need somewhere to put it. Well, it comes with this bad boy right here. So the greatest thing about it is, if you don't like it being on this side, you can put it over here. Super easy, super economical, awesome. Good job by Mikolo there. Pros, definitely cost effective. Comes with an amazing lat pull down, as you saw in this video. The cons, you're probably gonna outgrow it, because it does have an 800-pound weight capacity, and the cable system itself is limited to 400 pounds. And yeah, as you go through your workout journey, the cool thing about Mikolo is they offer different levels to whatever your budget can handle. Thank you so much for tuning into Aviator's Garage. If you have any questions about this Mikolo F4, go ahead and drop a question down in the comments. If you like my video, please go ahead and share it with other people. It helps my channel grow. Also, a subscription helps my channel more than you can imagine. I really appreciate it. Good luck on your New Year's resolutions out there. I'm gonna be trying to do the best that I can to maintain my physical fitness, because I have 2 young boys that I do not want kicking my butt, especially when I'm at the age of 60. Otherwise, John the Pilot, Aviator's Garage, see ya.